Hello again, everyone. Mark Hackle, Macomb County Executive and Deputy Executive here from Macomb County. John Paul Rea. Just giving a quick update what's going on, in particular with this COVID crisis that's going on. We do know there's an increase in the number of cases and concern within our hospital systems of dealing with these. But with that being said, we're trying to figure out how do we meet that challenge, alongside the state as well as what we're doing with our health department. And again, it was interesting to note the governor's office really didn't take a forceful approach to this recent uptick. I think it was more of kind of a recommendation for schools to maybe do more remote learning. And the schools, I think, independently working amongst themselves are making their own decisions and working with their school boards and their school superintendents, as well as the high school sports. So with that being said, there's still plenty of opportunity for people to get vaccinated, which is the big concern right now, is how do you get vaccine available. We think that is becoming less of a concern. There is plenty of vaccine coming our way now. We anticipated getting 50,000. We're getting about 13,000 a week right now, which we can easily handle. We got it at various locations throughout the county. People can go to macombgov.org, check on our website to go ahead and get signed in. Seniors specific can do that obviously through the SMART system. Very little, if any, wait lists out there for the actual SMART system right now. So with that being said, plenty of opportunity, and I think even the city of Detroit, they're now trying to recruit people to get vaccinated, even at the Ford Field site. So I think that's going to become less of a concern, people not being able to get a vaccine or get vaccinated. I think the push is going to be shortly as to how do you get people convinced that it's safe and maybe they should do it. And I always go back to it's up to a person to make that decision based upon consultation with their doctor. So interesting where we're at right now. It's quite a concern for many, and especially the hospital systems, and we know it's still out there, and trying to continue to warn people, at least give them information to make decisions to keep themselves safe during this.
Mark, it's all about bin management and response. Obviously, we're seeing trends that bring some concern into the equation, whether it's from the hospital systems, whether it's from our health department as our epidemiology team continues to assess the numbers, the impact that it has in communities, and obviously with the vaccine distribution. The first step in combating this is obviously what we've continually talked about with the CDC recommendations and guidelines, masking up, washing hands, social distancing. The vaccination rollout, the strategy, the numbers continue to be incredibly positive with regards to the availability of those appointments, again at macombgov.org. As we stand here today, available online. You can click, you can get your appointments, and also other outlets available, whether it's to those commercial outposts that are around the entire region and state. Beyond that too, when we look at the numbers too, it's the continued consultation with not only our health department, but working with the school districts. We've had continuous meetings with them 2 to 3 times a week over the past 2 weeks, ensuring that the school environment is as safe as possible. Any necessary resources that they need, guidance, insight, perspective, we're doing it in real time on a daily basis, and we're confident that we're not only going to continue to weather this storm, but be prepared for whatever comes next.
Yeah, and we've always followed the CDC guidelines, recommending that since the onset of this, and obviously even the orders that are coming out of the state, whether it's through executive orders or now through health orders, continuously trying to figure out how do we work along the state to try to figure out how do we get information to the public. But again, all those orders had come from the state. Now we're seeing recommendations. What's going to be next is coming up on the 14th, which is only 2 days away. That's going to be Wednesday. This decision is going to have to be made on behalf of the state or the governor as to what to do with those orders that are out there, as to whether or not to extend them or not. We're still waiting. It is the 12th, which is Monday, but right now the big concern is what's going to be happening on the 14th, and nobody seems to know just yet. Nobody has any insight, but it's going to be an interesting decision as to the impact it's going to have moving forward, whether they're going to be extended or they're just going to be something that's going to be set aside, or if there's going to be some kind of a hybrid movement on behalf of the state or the governor's office.
Mark, we have a watchful eye on it, not only as an employer with to 2,400 plus individuals that work with the county, but also the guidance and the insight that we continue to provide to the businesses in Macomb County. We've always been focused on educating them. What are the best resources? How they can make sure that their workplace is as safe as possible, and also most importantly that they have the necessary resources to keep their businesses open to serve the public. I think it's going to be really interesting tracking where that conversation goes over the next couple days, what it means for many, many employers throughout the county, and also what it means for us to ensure that we can continue to serve the public.
I think a lot of people are confused by that. You shut down a lot of businesses. Businesses are only coming back at kind of half capacity now. People were wearing masks, the social distancing, making sure you're washing your hands, taking care of our most vulnerable, our seniors. We're here in Macomb County. We think pretty much every senior that's wanted a vaccine has got a vaccine, and yet we know there's still availability for them. them. But with that being said, numbers are still on the rise. Testing is available, vaccine is out there, we're getting it out there. What is the cause for the incredible rise in the state of Michigan, which Michigan now leads the entire country with the increased numbers? Nobody really has that rhyme or reason or answer. And then finding, the state now deciding to go ahead through the governor's office to say, now we're making recommendations. What can you take away from this? It's interesting. The thing we keep saying is, provide people the information, the necessary information about protecting themselves, whether it's the PPE, social distancing, taking care of our seniors, the fact that the folks that understand the science behind making the vaccines, and or the health professionals saying, it's safe, working with your doctors to make that decision as to whether or not you think you should go ahead and get that vaccine. So all these things coming together, we just want to continue to provide the proper information to the public so that you're making the right choices on behalf of you and your family, the healthiest choices. So again, we're going to continue to try to figure out how we give the information to the public and allow them to make those decisions on their behalf, but also anything that comes along from the federal government or the state that is some type of a requirement, a mandate, we will also pass that along as well. So again, continue to monitor what's going on through media outlets and or through your own healthcare professionals as you continue to see this play itself out. This is it's still there, it's still an issue, and even our health professionals, the hospitals are telling us they're inundated, and it is a challenge for them.
Mark, and it's been interesting, that partnership not only with the hospitals but also with the local public safety agencies, as we're working with police and fire, standing up the local vaccination clinics under the coordination of our health department and everything. But another opportunity that we've discussed candidly too in these video updates is the opportunities for us to bring on more medical personnel here at the county. There are opportunities available, whether it's for licensed professional nurses, whether it's for RNs, whether it's for health information specialists and medical assistants. Those available job opportunities with the county are available through MacombGov.org. Annie McKinnon and the entire team over at the Human Resources Department have been doing an exceptional job to ensure that we have adequate staff to deploy these resources throughout the community, and we can not only get vaccines, information, resources, and coordination at every single level to combat the pandemic.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to find the concern about having availability of an appointment or getting an appointment to get a vaccine is going to be a concern. Probably within the next month or two, that's going to be less of a concern. Kind of like when it came to the issue of PPEs at the beginning, there was concern as to whether or not there was enough. Now we're stockpiled. Talking about test centers or testing kits, we have that plentiful. I think right now we're going to find that there is going to be plenty of opportunity for people to get a vaccine if they want one. The push will be moving forward. What about those that didn't? How do they force that issue? How do they convince them? How do they make a strong suggestion, recommendation? That's going to be the next issue playing out, along with the funding that we're getting from the federal government, which is about $171 million that's coming. That's adequate for us to handle a lot of issues here in the county. We're hoping some of that is going to be available to help deal with some of the infrastructure concerns, not just underground with sewers and water, but also above ground when it comes to roads, because roads are a concern. And if I can transition into that, we do see a lot of those orange barrels out there. Every funding opportunity we get that comes to the county, we partner with local communities, whether it's township, city, or village, and try to figure out how do we best use those dollars on the most problematic roadways. And again, there are a lot of them. You can go to MacombGov.org, you can click on our roads department map to understand the problems and the magnitude of that problem here in Macomb County, which is relatable across all of Southeast Michigan. And with that being said, we always say it, and I continue to say it, it's not about fixing a road. There isn't a road we can't fix if we get the proper funding, and that includes bridges too. But as we go through construction projects or construction season, which has already started, we want to make sure people are mindful of those construction workers that are out there. We had a tragic situation that happened here in Macomb County, and again, one that we will never forget, but it was due to somebody out there working on a road project and somebody that wasn't paying attention while they were driving, and it caused his tragic death. So a sad reality we actually seen play out here in Macomb County, very tragic, very emotional for not only the workers here, but specifically the family. And we are now in that season where we're going to be fixing roads, and we want to make sure drivers out there are being very mindful of the folks that are out there trying to do the work, fixing those roads. So we're hoping people kind of take heed, and we want to remind them, slow down in some of these construction zones. Watch out for those workers.
Yeah, Mark, 25 projects underway across the county as we get things up and running. Just be vigilant and aware of those facts as you enter those construction zones. Be more mindful, follow those posted speeds and everything, and let's make sure everyone gets home safely.
Yeah. And just on another note, we did have that little competition during the Final Four, March Madness, kind of our Mac Madness, if you will, here in Macomb County. What was the results of that?
So Sherwood Brewing Company up in Shelby Township was the winner of the best Mac in the Mac. Great place. I've had the opportunity to go there a number of times, and it was just an excellent way to showcase a number of local businesses that not only have fantastic cuisine, but these places are open during the pandemic. They want to let people know that they got great food, they got great atmosphere where you're going to be safe and everything. And now with the weather getting a little bit better here, you're going to have a great opportunity to get outdoors and have a meal with your family and friends.
Yeah, we are concerned about a lot of our local businesses here in Macomb County. We have been. Our planning department's done a great job. Vicki Rowinski and her team have done a masterful job of trying to figure out how do we get some of those contracts, those grants, I should say, out there awarded to these businesses through funding opportunities we got. This was kind of a playful way of doing the very same thing. Money was available for these businesses, specifically restaurants. They made it somewhat of a competitive nature, and we got a lot of response from that, and a pretty good, I guess, response from the public. You know, thinking it was kind of a cute way of getting the attention drawn to our businesses here in Macomb County. We want to continue to do that. So, again, if you can, please continue to shop local, support our restaurants and businesses here, because some of them are challenged and some of them are still suffering from this. And one of the big concerns they're seeing is, you know, the 50% capacity, but in particular, trying to find employees right now has become a real challenge. So if you know somebody out there looking for a job, you might want to just have them maybe look at some of our local employers here and see if there's something available for them, because there are jobs available here in Macomb County.
Mark, you bring up a great point. That's one of the programs that Vicki and the entire planning team are actually reaching out to the restaurant and service industry, seeing how they can assist not only with showcasing jobs or opportunities that are within our local restaurants that are there, because again, as we get into the summer months, there's going to be a great more opportunity for people to get out there and enjoy.
Yeah, these businesses have supported us for years, for decades here in Macomb County. They're part of our economy, so we hope that you continue to support them. And in the meantime, on behalf of JP, myself, and the rest of us here in Macomb County, we want to continue to remind you to keep you and your family safe.